Friday the 31st of March and cast your minds back to January 2020. Can we all remember what happened? Harry and Meghan sensationally stepped down from being working royals. Can you remember their manifesto website that they so boldly clicked publish on before even working it through with the royal family? It was an absolute mess, wasn't it? I did many videos on that. If you actually go through my previous videos, you'll be able to see them. But one little nugget that always stuck with me was that by stepping down as working royals, it would provide our family with the space to focus on the next chapter, including the launch of our new charitable entity. That was what they put on their manifesto website. And then we all know, literally no more than a month later, Archewell website was published. We never really knew, or at that particular time, what their charitable endeavour was going to be, but it was named Archewell. And there are a plethora of buzzwords about what they were trying to achieve that basically didn't really allude to anything. So it was really rather vague, and we didn't know what kind of charitable endeavour their Archewell mission was going to undertake. We then had the Archewell podcast holiday edition, didn't we, on Spotify? That was massive fanfare, had a huge amount of PR, and then nothing came about. They just released one holiday episode and then nothing ever came about from them with regards to Archewell. You know, if I was a Spotify executive, I'd be like, what the hell have we just paid for? But of course, Meghan did a 180 and then released Archetypes, her own pet project. And in spectacular, typical narcissistic style, it was all about the words that she found offensive. And now, a lot of buzz is with regards to Archewell about how much they have done for charity. And in my eyes, with regards to comparison with like the Royal Foundation that William and Kate do, not so much. Anyway, they've just released their tax filings for 2021. And I'm going to read this beautiful quote from The Spectator. It says, "Now Archewell have released tax filings for 2021 and they show what we all knew to be true the whole time. Meghan and Harry have spent the last 3 years doing very little at all. The documents show that the couple worked a grand total of 1 hour each week at the foundation, racking up a timesheet a whopping 52 hours a year. Those chickens aren't going to look after themselves, are they? Beautifully. That's right, 52 hours each for 1 year on their charity. Do you think that's acceptable? Now, in 2021, according to the reports, the Archewell gave out $3 million, which is £10.4 million, in grants to refugee resettlement charities and funding for COVID-19 vaccines. It raised $13 million, which is £10.5 million from benefactors. The amount that they raised from public donations was just $4,500, which is £3,600. That's public donations. So what is where you at? Out of that $13 million raised from private benefactors, $10 million came from one single donor. And The Spectator speculates that it was handed to the pair by Oprah Winfrey in return for the interview the Duke and Duchess of Sussex gave in March 2021. I'd like your thoughts on that. Do you think it was a quid pro quo? You do my interview, you spill your guts, you give me all the juicy details, and I'll donate $10 million to Archewell. Do you think that was a fair price? Let's not forget that they can charge all expenses, should they wish to do so, to their accounts. And that can be marked on their tax return as expenses and therefore tax deductible. But I'd like to ask you just one simple question. Do you think it's acceptable, or do you think it's fair that they put forward this charity endeavour and each of them only work 1 hour per week on it? Do you think that's fair? Do you think that's a fair representation? I don't. Now, according to reports, they don't take any salary from Archewell. That doesn't mean they don't charge expenses, which, quite rightly, you can charter a private jet, and that can be an expense. 52 hours a year. Just let that sink in. 52 hours in an entire year. I do more work than that. Now, it could be that they have minions to do all the work, but surely if it's your foundation, you dedicate more than an hour a week. Well, I suppose they did dedicate quite a lot of time to trashing their family. That takes up an awful amount of time, doesn't it? And then there's all the interviews and the book, and apparently the book that she's writing. You know, slagging off your family. It's hard work. Takes up a lot of your time. And some say, well, they've done it the smart way. They have other people to run their company or run their charitable foundation. Sorry, not company, charitable foundation. But surely, if it's got your name on the door, you want to put some work in to make sure it's being run successfully, adequately, the way you want it to be run. And yes, it was during the pandemic, but people worked from home. It didn't stop them working and having Zoom meetings. But then again, playing devil's advocate, they had a book to launch, they had podcasts to do, interviews, award ceremonies to attend. And I'm going to end today's video with giving another quote from the Spectator article that I read. It says, after 3 years of speculating, the truth may be appearing as to why Meghan and Harry stepped down as working royals. The real answer may be more prosaic. The life of a working royal means work, and that's something they aren't willing to do. Before I go though, can you remember when they were doing the Australia tour and she was meeting crowds and basically being a working royal, and she turned around and said, I can't believe I'm not getting paid for this. Yeah, I remember that. Do they want all the perks and all the money for very little work? I would love to know your thoughts on this. As always, let me know what you think. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.